Hi folks, it's me again. I'm smoking a Foundation Cigar Charter Oak. It's a Kentucky broadleaf wrapper, a Nicaraguan binder, a Nicaraguan tobacco in the middle. It was made in honour of the blender's father, father or grandfather, sorry, I'm not quite sure which, who just was an ordinary working man, but he loved Kentucky broadleaf. So they decided to make a cigar in honour of it. And it really is a nice smoke. It's medium to full. It has sort of what you would expect from a cigar like this. It's cedar, wood, occasionally leather, that kind of heavy flavours. Although I don't get flavours from cigars. I'm 75 and my mouth and my taste buds have had a lot of hard work and misuse, but I still like cigars. I still get an overall pleasure from smoking them. I use a Cigar cutter. Its blades operate together. Very sharp. Lifetime guarantee. I light my cigar not with a lighter. I do use a lighter sometimes. That would be unfair. But I like to use this. Again, made by Cigar. I don't know whether you'll see it warming up. Yeah, there we are, look. It really is like the cigar lighters that you got on cars. But because I have the shakes sometimes, it means that the cigar lights evenly and quickly. If I use a lighter, I'll use a jet lighter. But I don't buy expensive ones. This was a couple of quid. This one was from Smoking Shop, and it's got their symbol on it. I don't smoke Cuban cigars. In my opinion, they're expensive. They're not as good as they were, and I think there are better New World cigars. I particularly like Nicaraguan, but there are so many other ones that it's a pleasure to get to see so many. I like Foundation Cigars particularly because the blender is so expert in what he's doing and in his aim. They've just made a new blend into the country called Highclere Castle. It's where Winston Churchill used to go, the King used to go, and various other well-known people. And in fact, Churchill's chair that he used is still there. What they wanted to do was try and recreate the cigars that they would be smoking in the Victorian era. And you might think, well, how can they do that? That's impossible. There's just not the information and that kind of thing. But they were able to read a lot of the stuff that was written, some of the diaries, some of the household records, and decided that they would have a crack at it. Now, I don't know whether the cigar's like that, but it is an excellent smoke. It really is. In England, cigars are very expensive. Not as expensive maybe as Australia or Canada, I don't know. Sorry, I've got an irritation in my eye and I mustn't do that, but I keep doing it. As I say, our cigars are expensive. I mean, something that you would pay $5 to $10 for, we might be paying £20 for, which is $25 maybe. So cigars for most of us are, we have to think about what we're buying. And I can't afford to waste money on cigars that don't give me the pleasure or that have problems. I mean, all cigar companies have problems occasionally, but there are some that are better than others. How the cigar's wrapped, how it smokes, does it canoe, has it got a tunnel in the centre of the cigar which makes this canoe? What's the wrapper like? Is the wrapper trustworthy? Is it firm? Is the cigar well kept? I still like pipe tobacco. I still like smoking my pipe, and I'll have 3 or 4 pipes a day, and maybe one cigar, or maybe none. But I try and have one cigar a day. But then I have to, buy 7 cigars, which costs over £100. So far, the wife hasn't cottoned on yet, I think, how much they are. Although she's very canny, and I think she's prepared to let me have my hobby, which is nice. In response to my last video, some of you have asked how we are. Carolyn's just had her cataracts done, so she's still recovering from one of them. Her eyes full of blood and red, and she looks as if she's been punched in the eye. I deny all knowledge, and Tim will back me up. He'd better do, otherwise he'll get the other black eye. No, so she's she's finding it difficult to see with glasses on because her eyes have changed now. But it's got to be about 6 weeks before she can go to an optician to have her eyes tested. She still suffers very much with her bones. She has both rheumatoid arthritis and she has rheumatism arthritis of that 3 different kinds of arthritis. Her knees are bone on bone, which must be agony to walk on. I mean, she takes morphine. But they can't operate. They don't want to operate because they're a bit afraid of it going wrong. And they're not being strong enough to survive the operation. I'm okay. They originally diagnosed me with Parkinson's disease. We moved down here and I haven't got Parkinson's. They don't know what's wrong with me. I have some neurological condition. I mean, the specialist got a surprise. He did that reflex test where they run a pen up your sole of your foot. One of my toes went, which it's supposed to. One of my feet, rather. The other one went, which it isn't supposed to. So that rather surprised him. I have what they call micro bleeds in the brain. It's the very, very little blood vessels on the surface of the brain burst, and a little bit of blood. Now, whether that can lead to a bigger burst, I don't know, and a stroke or not, I don't know. But I think it does affect me. I'm having great difficulty in sort of remembering things, but then I always have. That's always been a problem of mine. But as you get older, you begin to think, is it something, a sign of dementia or that kind of thing? And I'm told that it isn't. That it's just the way we get when we get older. And part of the problem is that I hold so much. I'm too busy doing things, mentally, that somebody will tell me their name and yes, and I'm determined to remember it, but it's gone in seconds because I've got all sorts of things going on. I was studying the Kabbalah, and I'd spent quite a time studying that, but in the end, I decided to leave. Not because I found there was anything wrong with it, but it was sort of confusing me as regards God. Because the Kabbalistic view of God is very different to any other. It was a difficult thing to do, to leave, because we were put in groups of 10, which is a very Jewish thing. You can't have a synagogue without 10 elders. And the group of 10 was supposed to work together to progress up the ladder towards God. The whole thrust of the training we were doing was love your neighbour as yourself, love your brother as yourself. And we'd got very close as a group. So I felt quite bad about leaving. But I talked it over with one of the Kabbalists, and he sort of said, look, you're going to have to choose which you do. Whether you consider yourself a Christian or whether you carry on with the Kabbalah. You can't do both. And in the end, I decided that I'd go back to the church. But I'm not proselytizing here, I'm just saying what I've been doing. I've also I want to get back to writing stories, short stories. I've got dozens, maybe hundreds laying all over the place, and I want to get back to that. If I do, I'll read some more out to you, because I have read some on these videos. I've just noticed that it's 15 minutes, so I'll give up soon. So on the whole, things are going well, and I hope they're going well for you as well. It's difficult for me at the moment to keep up with things on the YTCP because I've got other things that I'm involved with on YouTube. I don't know, there's just so many, there's so much on YouTube that's good. You know, there's so much that's rubbish as well. I watched something on, the title was why is the Vatican scared of a prophecy by Mother Teresa? And I thought, oh, that would be interesting. Went through the whole video, half an hour, and all it did was tell the story of Mother Teresa. Didn't say anything about a prophecy. So I felt hard done to when I got to the end. And I think if ever we put videos together that are proselytizing, we should at least admit it. I mean, I hope the odd mention that I've made of Kabbalah and, you know, my return to Christianity or not, and won't be classed in the same thing because there's no intention of proselytizing. Anyway, the cigar's going really well. It's a really nice smoke. I shall end it there and see you again soon. And, you know, always remember that you're very special. Each one of us is. And I hope that you will be richly blessed, that you get what you want in life. If you want something, work for it. But I pray that whatever you believe, however you live your life, that it'll be a blessed one and a good one. So, every blessing, good night.